This is Inside MCLA, helping inquiring minds better understand the culture at Massachusetts College of Liberal Arts.
Hi, I'm Joshua Curtis, and I believe that one of the best ways to strengthen any community is through engaging in dialogue. I pitched the idea for this podcast because I wanted to learn more about the numerous people who helped shape the college. Today, I have the honor of speaking with the woman who runs the Student Financial Services here at MCLA, Bonnie HOWLAND. Thank you for being on the show.
Thank you for having me.
So, to start off, the first question I have is, how did you end up in the role you are in today?
I actually started at MCLA 15 years ago. I came to the office as an entry-level worker, being a cashier on the front lines, taking care of students, taking payments, doing all the nitty-gritty behind-the-scenes work. Worked my way through the office and ended up as the director, and then recently have taken on financial aid. So I started on student accounts, and now I've taken on financial aid as well.
What made you decide to take on financial aid?
They actually decided as an institution to combine the department to have a student financial services instead of two separate offices.
Yeah.
So we used to have a separate office of the student account side and then a separate office of financial aid. And they didn't necessarily always work in conjunction with each other. So best practices are leaning towards combining the departments so there's a lot more fluidity and students can have a little bit more ease of access when it comes to financials. It doesn't make sense that financial aid doesn't know what's happening on the billing side of the house, and billing doesn't know what's happening with financial aid.
Yeah.
So by pulling me in to cover both roles, it helped combine the departments and make us more cohesive.
Okay. Where are you from?
I'm actually a native of North Adams. So I grew up here, went to Berkshire Community College and got my associate's degree right out of high school. Came to work here a few years later and then went back to school, got my bachelor's here at MCLA, and got my MBA from MCLA as well. So I'm a two-time alum of
What's
the
an
college.
MBA?
Master's of Business.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
So
What is the most common question you get from students?
if they can have more money, I would say would be the most common. We have, a wide demographic of student here. So, some are needier than others when it comes to finances.
Yeah.
A lot of students are just really reaching out to us for help on how to navigate, getting the bill paid and things like that. So it's just, how am I going to pay? Can we assist any more with financial aid? If we have the funding, we're able to do that. Sometimes our hands are kind of tied with regulations, but other than that, I would say, how to pay the bill is the number one question, and how to get more funding.
Yeah. Okay. Why MCLA versus any other college?
I think MCLA has a special community feel to it. Since we are so small, even working with my colleagues, you're working with a family atmosphere.
Yeah.
You have, everybody knows each other. We're small enough. We all have the students' best interests at heart. So it's nice to come work in a place where everybody is on the same mission. We may have our own departmental missions, but, in the end, we're here for the students. And I think that was something that I was excited about when I first started, is to be around, the youth and be able to help people. And I think at MCLA, being here for as long as I have, that's one of the biggest takeaways, is that I'm still able to help people on a daily basis.
Yeah.
With whatever they need. So.
Okay. What's your favorite time of year at MCLA, and why?
Oh boy, I would have to say the fall, because for one thing, the campus is beautiful in the fall, but I think it's the excitement of a new semester and a new incoming class that everybody on campus is geared up and ready to go. So it kind of brings a momentum to see what the new year is going to bring, and we're constantly trying to improve things or change things to to make it better. So it's always interesting to see how a new plan is going to unfold.
Yeah.
For the next year. So I think that's probably my favorite time, just to see all the new faces come on campus and just the excitement that brings, and the promise that people have trusted us with their student. Things like that.
What do you think is the most challenging thing about that time of year?
Oh, probably time. It's a very busy time for us because we are trying to help a lot of the new students get acclimated.
Yeah.
For us, as far as a department, it's actually not super duper busy behind the scenes. It's more taking care of the students on the front lines and making sure that customer service is going well, and that students are getting what they need.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. Let's see. What does your typical day look like at MCLA?
Oh, for me, it is running to. I have quite a few meetings on my plate. Being a director of kind of the two areas, I'm running between kind of doing both duties. So sometimes I'll get called to a meeting to talk about something on the billing side and how revenue is going to work. And then on the other side, I have to get called into a meeting to talk about financial aid and how we're going to leverage that better. Because it's the balance between the two departments or the two divisions, of this department. So for me, a lot of times it's meetings in the morning. I'm still a working director, so I do all the financial aid awarding. So the reviews get done within the department, and then they come to me.
Yeah.
For final stamp of approval as far as awarding. It's a lot of meeting with students, especially if people need additional assistance, or sometimes there's some special circumstances that come up and students just want to meet with somebody who can do something about that. Or help with that. So it ranges every day.
Okay.
But a lot of meetings for sure.
How do you ever struggle with the time management because of all that, or?
There are some days it feels like I have meeting after meeting.
Yeah.
And then other days, like today, I've had 2 meetings, so it wasn't too bad at all.
Okay.
So there are some busier days that I'm kind of running and can't do the day-to-day work, but I like to think I'm pretty dedicated, so I just come in on the weekends, if I need to. Living local helps with that. So, it can be a struggle. It can be a little stressful, but...
You feel like you're used to it now?
I'm getting used to it now, yes. It's been just over a year since I've taken on the whole division, so... Yeah.
Okay.
So, it's getting better.
What is the biggest change MCLA underwent since you started working here?
Oh, I'd have to say President Birch coming on board in the transition of presidents. Because I was hired under Mary Grant. That's
the president before?
Yep.
Okay.
And then we went through, we had an interim president in between, and then President Birch coming on. So I think it's a different dynamic. Each president has their own ideas and what they want to see the institution grow to be. So it's just been that different transition.
Yeah.
So.
What do you think is the biggest difference for you between the two?
Oh, that's hard to say. Maybe just that's hard. I think now more programs being built, where I don't remember, maybe because I was early on in my career here, but I almost don't remember the robust development of programs, where I feel like President Birch has done more with bringing on, new minors, in academics and things like that. I know the nursing program is in the pipeline being researched and things, and, bringing radiology from SVC and things like that. something that I just never saw before.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it's something that, I don't want to say it wasn't done before, because maybe I just wasn't aware of it.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah.
I do see new program development.
Okay.
And just, I think more of a need for like collaboration on campus.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like there's a little bit more of strategic committees and things that are bringing the campus together. And maybe I just, like I said, maybe I wasn't involved as much when I was earlier in my career, but I do see that difference now.
Can you tell me one story that made you decide, hey, I love my job?
Oh boy, that's tough. I don't know if I have one particular story. I mean, it's always nice when you hear from a student, or, you know, I have a picture of a soccer player up in my cabinet, because, you know, you can make an impact on somebody's life just by helping them sit and talk about life, not even finances. So people come to me to talk about money, but yet, you know, you develop like a familial relationship with them. So, you know, I think for me, it's just been being able to help people. And getting a thank you card is fantastic. You know, I have a stack of thank yous that it's so appreciated, because you feel like, you know, you're just kind of, I have to be the bad guy as well as giving out the money. You know, I also have to collect the money and balance that. You know, in the end, the college is still a business to an extent. So you have to do that kind of dirty work of taking the money and making sure people know that it is just a necessity of going to school. So I think, you know, for me, it's maybe not one in particular thing. It's just knowing that some students do really still appreciate, you know, me or the service that we provide here.
Okay. I have one last question.
Sure.
And this is a little like, this is different than other questions.
Oh boy.
If you could have one superpower, what would it be and why?
Oh, one superpower. What would my superpower be? That's a tough question. I know I would not want to be invisible, but I think I don't know. That's tough. I think I would like the superpower to be able to like go back in time to a certain and review something, like
not change anything.
Not change anything. Just be able to go back and see what happened at that point in time, and be able to look back and say why, you know, maybe why you feel a certain way today. Yeah. Maybe something happened at that moment. Yeah. That made you feel that way, and you just want to know what was it. So yeah, to be able to go back in time, but come back to present day.
Okay, that's pretty dope. Cause like honestly, like I've seen a lot of movies where people go back in time, change things, and mess up their whole life.
Right. No, I don't think I would change anything. I think I would want to know kind of why I think the way I do today. Yeah. And what's made me the person I am today. You know, because you know it's your decisions that you've made your whole life, and you know you kind of wonder, well, what happened at that moment to make me make that decision? What was I feeling, or what was I doing? So it'd be interesting to kind of know.
Sorry about that.
And that's it.
But yeah, I think that's it for now. Thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you.
Have a good one.
Yeah, you too.
Inside MCLA is hosted by theater major Joshua Curtis. You can keep up with Inside MCLA on Podbean, Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. To learn more about what's what at MCLA, visit our website, mcla.org.